Hello everyone, this is Jackson100 here and welcome back to another video. So over the past weekend I was at the 2017 Yu-Gi-Oh! UK Nationals and I finished 86th place, getting an invite to Euros with a record of 6-3-1 with this deck, Penguin Zoo, and that's did decently well and I think it's a super interesting deck. I thought I'd make a deck profile of the deck. Unfortunately I don't have a good way to record the real life cards, so instead I'm doing it on Duel and Book, but I'm sure that'll be fine. So I'm just going to go over the card choices, etc, and go into a bit of detail about why I'm playing the cards. Starting off, I got 2 copies of Rapier, just for zoo stuff. 2 copies of Whiptail to banish stuff I don't like. Then for the Penguin Engine, I said that in quotation marks, I got 2 copies of Penguin Soldier, 2 copies of No Penguin, 2 copies of Nightmare Penguin, and 2 copies of the Great Emperor Penguin. So the reason you're running this is because this guy can special 2 penguins to the deck if you have him on the field by tributing him. Which can give you either Penguin Soldier or Nightmare Penguin for Toad, or No Penguin for Invoker. So even though it's sort of a joke that I'm playing the Penguins, the reason that this is really good over other ways of summoning Toad is that you have access to Invoker or Toad, which really synergizes well with the Zoo stuff, which you won't have with the other decks that can summon Toad. Sometimes they're going to be 2 or 4, but then it also has the option for 3s, which gives you the Invoker. But this guy's a level 5, which is sort of the only problem with this. But it's fine with this deck because there's a bunch of ways to still have a normal summon by the time you're done with the Zoo combo. So for example, special Terratop or Barrage, or use Barrage effects, you'll have a normal summon still available at the end of the combo, so you can tribute off the Emerald for this guy and then get Toad. Or you have these guys with such Brilliant Fusion, or Brilliant Fusion itself, or Swap Frog, and then slightly weird ways is you can use this guy, or maybe Gamma Seal, or slightly less weird, you can use Ronin Toadin, or maybe Trick Clown, or Instant Fusion, or other ways to summon it, which is there are a decent amount of ways to summon it, so it's not often you're going to be sitting there like, damn, why is this guy level 5, I can't make any plays at all. Normally that'll be fine to get the tribute summon this guy off to get the plays, so then definitely the benefits greatly outweigh the fact that he's level 5. And on their own, the other penguins aren't terrible, so Penguin Soldier is obviously bounce 2, a classic card I'm going to say. You have this, no one's going to expect it, they will be attacking into your pseudo Stormy Mirror Force and you will be bouncing 2 of their cards and there's nothing they can do about it. As it's going to do, especially it's pretty good because obviously they're normally going to end up with Dryden, Emerald, and then maybe an Invoker. So if they attack into this guy, you'll be able to bounce their Dryden and then one of the Emerald or the Invoker, and there's their field gone. The Dryden is the main problem, so there's the Dryden gone, so you can make your plays on the next turn. And then next, there's No Penguin, so if it's in the grave, you have to special him when you activate the effect of a penguin monster, and also if a card will be returned to hand by the effect of a penguin, it gets banished instead. So this turns Penguin Soldiers into a banished 2 instead of bounced 2, which is a lot better. And also another good thing about this guy is because it's the mandatory trigger effect that will occur whenever you use a penguin effect. It will end up being Chainlink 2 straight away, so you have Penguin Chainlink 1, him Chainlink 2, so your opponent cannot negate the original penguin, they can still negate No Penguin. So instead of have this guy tribute him, then chain No Penguin, Ash Blossom cannot be used on it, Strike cannot be used on it, something like Mechaba or Crystal Wing cannot be used on this guy. I will be getting my guys from the deck. You can still net No Penguin, but you're negating this. It doesn't really do anything. Although maybe more relevant to negate the No Penguin if you have Penguin Soldier, because then it'll only be bounced 2 instead of banished 2. But still, And lastly, for the Penguins, there's Nightmare Penguin. It gives all face-up water monsters 200 attack, so you can get quite a lot of damage if you can summon 2 of these with him, and you have other water monsters because it'll give them all a 400 boost. So I'll have 2 13, so that's 26. Then maybe have a Toad. There's another 26, No Penguin, there's 2k, etc. And then his other effect is similar to Penguin Soldiers. If it gets flipped, you can bounce a card. So this is any card, where Penguin Soldiers is only monsters. You can also get rid of back row, which is pretty good. Then the main combo I say with this guy, which is the thing that I first discovered, oh, this is really good, is if you have this and Brilliant Fusion. So you Brilliant Fusion, get Seraphonite and the Trick Clown, tribute Seraphonite for this guy, get double No Penguin, which gives you Invoker, and then that gives you Rat, and then you can overlay Rat and Trick Clown for Broad Ball, which can search you the Lunalight combo, and then you can put Chakanine on top, detach the summon from Checker 9, and then you can go for Emerald, and then you can get back Broad Bull into extra deck, and then you still have Checker 9 on the field, so you'd synchro with the Invoker, synchro fusion with the Invoker instead of the Checker 9. Then you can put Broad Bull back on top, which will give you a further search for Mother Grizzly. And then you'll still have Emerald on the field, not Emerald Norden on the field, because you will summon Emerald with the 2 Rapiers that you'll have at the end instead of Norden. So then what you can do is summon the Mother Grizzly with your extra normal from, you'd use the extra normal, this guy, from the regular normal summon, and then you get the 2/4 Waters, which gives you the Barnet Shelf, which gives you the Toad. So that's like, when I was like, oh, this deck's really good at summoning Toad and a Dryden at the same time. But that's like, but then if you have the right combo of like a Terra Top or Barrage, so then you can just tribute an Emerald to get it, which is obviously another way. So it's really easy to have this guy to get the Toad. Then I'm playing 3 copies of Speedboy Terra Top and 1 copy of Tekkaton Borg. Rip Terra Top. Yeah, but obviously this was Zoo stuff. Then I'm playing a Predaplant Engine of 2 Lone Fire Blossom, 1 Ultra Scorpio, and 1 Darling Tony Cobra. If I was to change anything about the deck, it's probably be to run more of this, because this is the best engine in the deck, because before, obviously the Zoo engine itself, but before I was like, oh, this guy in Brilliant Fusion is really good, but these guys give you the Brilliant Fusion on their own, and they give you the level and they give you the level 3s for the Invoker. So it's basically the same play from before, except you don't have to draw 2 cards. You have to draw technically 1.5 cards. I have 30 monsters. It's so unlikely that I'm going to draw another monster discarded with this guy. It'll be fine. And then obviously you can do the same play as I said before to get the field. But it's just pretty good. So for the hand traps, I'm playing 3 copies of Cyframe Gear Gamma. The reason for playing this is because it can negate hand traps. So say, I activate Brilliant Fusion, I get Max Seed, I can say like, nah, no Max Seed for you today, summon Gamma, summon Driver, go for my level 8 synchro, which in my case I've chosen Stardust Dragon. And it's also better at stopping the Zoo combo than one of these 2 cards, because this just stops the Zoo combo straight up. You can Ghost Ogre or Ghost Dash them, but that'll only either destroy the card or negate the effect, not do both, while Gamma does both, so that just straight stops the Zoo combo there. Which is why. But then there's the problem with the not having to have a monster on the field, which makes it a bit more restrictive than these 2, but I still think it's a really good card. Then for the other hand traps, I'm playing 1 Ghost Ogre, 1 Ash Blossom, and 1 Maxi. I didn't want to play 2 of these, but I didn't get the card in time, so instead I decided to play Dark Hole, I think. Obviously I know, because I was on the main of the deck. But if I had more, I only have 1 of this, but if I had more, I'm not entirely sure if I would play more, because I actually do like Ghost Ogre better as a card, because Ash Blossom is really good against certain things like Brilliant Fusion or Grass. Obviously that's the one, so not Grass anymore, because no one's going to be playing it, hopefully. Tenki, etc. But half of the things you're going to want to negate is Barrage or a Diagram, which Ash Blossom does stop there, but it doesn't stop for the next turn, or Ghost Ogre does stop it for the next turn, and then Ghost has the extra flexibility to be able to destroy like any monster effect, which obviously Ash Blossom only has the specific monster effects that it can stop, and then Ghost Ogre does actually remove the card, which about half the time is as good as negating an effect. And then Maxi, it's just Maxi. And I'm playing 3 copies of Swap Frog. For obviously Toad Shenanigans with the 2 Ronin Toad in. Then I'm playing 2 copies of Gamma Seal. This is mostly to get rid of Masterpieces, Dryden, sort of a negator they have on the field, so I can make my plays. But it's also water, so I can discard it with Swap Frog. I can put it back in my hand with Toad. And I'm playing Lunalight Black Sheep for the Fusion sub combo. And I'm playing 1 Mother Grizzly, which is searchable with Broad Bull, which is sort of like, this is the card sort of like glues the deck together in a way, because half of the time, if I don't just go tribute this guy to summon the 2 or the 4, or if I don't have Swap Frog, there's not a way to summon Toad, but Mother Grizzly gives me the way to summon Toad, because it's a searchable level 4 water with my 2 plays. Lastly, for the monsters, I'm playing 1 Garnet and 1 Trick Clown, just for my Brilliant Fusion targets. For the spells, I'm playing 3 Barrage and 3 Tenki for Zoo stuff, Fusion sub for the Fusion sub combo, Brilliant Fusion, the 2, it's really good in this deck, like I said before with this guy. But, even, you can just summon Swap Frog, send the guy, Ronin Toad in, bounce Swap Frog, summon Swap Frog, send the other guy, and then you can, get Toad off that way. So it's just, extra ways to be able to summon Toad. And then I'm running 2 instant fusions, which is, I have more extra ways to summon Toad with Norden, and like say if you discarded Mother Grizzly or Nightmare Penguin, summon Swap Frog, and then boom, there's a double Toad pretty easily. And then I have 1 copy of Dark Hole. Like I said, I run it instead of a second copy of that, obviously because I just wanted another card that was really good at going second, and I decided the Dark Hole would be good because it's the board wipe, it's going to clear their board, which is good. And I'm playing Raigeki for the same reason as Dark Hole, but I'll step for that anyway. I'm playing 2 copies of Twin Twister just to get rid of whatever back row. I prefer over Cosmic Cyclone. I know that banishing True Draco spell traps is good, but I still prefer Twin Twister because I guess there are 2 cards instead of 1, so you can use it all to get rid of their diagram or whatever, and then you can use it to discard like dead cards, like if I have Garnet or Driver or Takatomb, or I definitely don't want those in my hand, I'm just scared of this, or Cobra. And then also, let's Trick Clown activate, I can send a Ronin Toad into the grave, so I can load the grade up for those, etc, etc. For the traps, I'm playing 2 copies of D-Barrier, 2 copies of Strike and 1 copy of Warning. I think 2 Strike, 1 Warning is the best, as opposed to 3 Strike, because Warning negates more stuff, especially Slumber, which I think is a big thing, and that alone makes me think it's better playing over the 3rd Strike. I'm playing 1 copy of Imperial Order, just because if you draw this and you're playing against a spell heavy deck and you've gone first, you're going to win. And then lastly I'm playing 1 copy of Spiritual Water Aoi. What this card does is I can tribute water monster, look at my opponent's hand and send a card from their hand to the graveyard. So often I'll just have like a Sword Frog floating there, see if I've summoned it off a Toad, or if I just have a Penguin as like, it's a Penguin. I mean, I know this means I can't get the flip effects off, but it's not doing much on its own, so I can tribute them for this, look at my opponent's hand, get rid of their best card, and then, say if I do have Toad and Dryden on board, then I know which cards they have, so I know which cards I'm going to be able to stop, to make it the most effectively, so I don't get baited out into like popping a useless card that's not actually going to do anything for them, and then they have, more plays after that, so I know what they're going to play, so I know which ones to stop. And also it's just really good at getting rid of stuff like Masterpiece, House the Masterpiece before they even get to summon it, which is pretty good. For the extra deck, I'm playing a Norden for just fuse a sub combo. 1 copy of Stratfonite for Brilliant Fusion. For the zoo, I'm playing 1 Tiger Mortar, 1 Broad Ball, 1 Shackanion, and 1 Dryden. If I was to play any more, I would play a second Dryden because quite often I was like, oh damn, I wish I had a second Dryden because I've already done the zoo plays, but I have a Whiptail on my hand. Maybe I've shuffled these back with Emerald, but like I haven't got a Dryden on my extra deck anymore, so I can't do anything else. So if I was to play any more, it would be a Dryden, but I'm not entirely sure where I'm putting this in this extra deck. But hey, the reason I'm playing Tiger Mortar, only ever other zoo, is because I think our ability is the best. As obviously you can detach something from the grave back to one of your guys, so you can reattach a Whiptail, obviously, or you can do like a really instant play where it doesn't actually say that you have to specifically attach it to a zoo card, so you can attach it to a Toad that you summoned off Bahamut Shark, which makes Toad standby effect to phase live, so then you don't have to tribute the Toad itself if you don't have any other Aquas for its effect. And I'm playing Invoker for zoo stuff, Emerald for zoo stuff. And I'm playing Utopia and the Utopia Lightning. I honestly hardly ever summon them. Like I don't even think before the tournament I even summon them. I did summon them once to get over a Lithosagum, but But I think I have to play it because Masterpiece is a thing, and getting over Masterpiece is not fun. And Lightning is one of the ways to get over Masterpiece. I'm playing 1 copy of Tornado Dragon. I think this is probably better than Castel, because if I was to go to something to out a card, it would probably be Utopia, and this can out any of the spell trap cards that Castel would have outed anyway. And then Tornado Dragon was just pop back row, stop their diagrams, stop their barrages, stop Tenki, stop whatever. So it's pretty good. And then playing Bahamut Shark and 2 Toad, obviously for Toad stuff. And then last time playing 1 Stardust Dragon for my choice of 8. I don't actually have an Omega, but even if I did, I probably would still play Stardust Dragon over it. My other choice was Spark Dragon, but in the end I decided to play Stardust because it protects my entire field as opposed to just 1 card. But obviously Stardust Dragon Spark is really good with Imperial Order, which is one of the other reasons why I was thinking about playing it. But Stardust Dragon can also negate a barrage or a diagram, which I think is pretty interesting if you want to use it for that. so that's why I'm playing him as my level 8. And you can also synchro him with Strathknight and one of these two. So the only way isn't just the Gamma, you also have another way to summon him, which is pretty neat. For the side deck, I'm playing 2 copies of Artifact Lancia, just for dinosaurs and invoked, Infernoids, and anything like that. I did play 4 dinos, so this, in general, would have been good if I actually drew it to stop the Misk, but I never did, so hey. Then I'm playing 2 copies of Flying Sea, it's just to stop Zoo, or any other XYZ decks, and 2 copies of Retaliating Sea. This is so if they fusion sub a specialist, they banish everything and they didn't get to have their place. Or if I'm playing any other deck like Fluffles or something else that was going to be like fusioning, then I can banish the stuff so they can't fight for fusion. And also this obviously searches the flying or the maxi, so I don't know, that's other good uses for it. Then I'm playing Juzukiro and Kumongus, my other Kaijus, and 2 Slumber to go with those. And I'm playing 2 copies of Mind Crush. I decided to play this because it works really well with this, so I open both of these cards, I can look at the hand with this, and then I can Mind Crush another card out. But there's also the Penguin Soldiers and Nightmare Penguins, which bounces stuff, so I know what's in their hand to get rid of. And then there's obviously the fact that this gets rid of Masterpiece before it's even summoned, which is the same as this card, which I think is really good. And then obviously a lot of searching happens, so the tankier Rampir, I can get rid of it, etc, etc. I'm playing 2 copies of Unending Nightmare. This it's really good against continuous spells. Like for me example, like my deck, you can stop my Barrage, you can stop my Tenki, you can stop my Brilliant Fusion. I'll be like, oh, can even stop Imperial Order with this card. If you're playing against Draco, you can pop Return, pop Diagram, etc, etc, which I think is really good. And then against Pendulums, if you want to play against those, this completely ruins them. There's nothing they can do if I have this card on the field. It's like anti-spell, except technically better in a way. Obviously anti-spell means they can't play, but this means if they want to play, I'm just going to get rid of their cards, so they'll be losing advantage. And last I played a copy of Torrential Tribute, just if I went first, to set this and then blow up everything I have, which is pretty good. So yeah, this has been a deck. I hope you all enjoyed. This has been Jaxi100 signing off. Have a good day.